that we can get ourselves a little overview of the equipment that we do have and do use and how we use it. Again, this is first of all a suggestion, and you have to decide what shall be your recommendation in the future for equipment, how you use it, how you maybe can spread it out over the country, and yeah, all the things coming with that. First of all, PPE. All of you do have long trousers, shoes, etc. A jacket. There are gloves, which we will use whenever we move the cars, when we work on the cars, etc. But as you see, they're kind of thick. They are not for patient treatment. Therefore, as I said, it might be necessary to have some disposable gloves underneath it to just get those out. As they are part of the financial fundings for the program, please give them back. As well as is the same as it with the safety glasses, the goggles. Okay. So whenever we do something technical, jacket, clothes, gloves, head protection, and last but not least, as we need to share the helmets, there are some hair nets. I know it looks a little bit not that fancy in the moment. And maybe you will wear your helmet on your hair, not on your head, but hey, that's how it goes.
Do it.
Protect your hair and not your head. No, it is like it is. I'll take care on that. So maybe I think we do have enough hair nets. So this is something which is important. We do have some safety vests as well. I think we won't need them because all of you are wearing safety jackets currently. But as we said during the presentation, it might be absolutely necessary that you are visible. Yes. And the more visible you are, the better it is. Okay, so for example, the darker your clothes are, the more reflective signs and stripes you shall have on. So nevertheless, it might be helpful to have that. Okay, so for our basic safety, we currently do not have safety triangles as we see, but maybe, and this is something which is very important, can find them on the scene. So shortly after we're done here with the presentation of the equipment we do have, we will push the cars a little bit further onto the car, and then we will search them if we can find the equipment. Our ambulance is limited. And as you see, that will be complicated to compare, to put it also in together with the stretchers, ECGs, and all the medical equipment. But maybe on the scene you can find something which is helpful. Then do that. Search for it. Okay. So other than that, we do have something we call them flares. We haven't put in all of them some batteries, but usually you can just switch them on and then lay them on the streets, and then they have a different kind of modes. They can blink, and then they can just be red and things like that. So it depends how often you put you squeeze the on and off button and things like that. They come in different colors. We now have orange ones, but we will use them for as a sign that we can secure the scene, and for safety. This is something which is important. So also bring them back, and because of the sunny weather, either way we won't see that they blink and things like that, right? Besides that, we need something to protect for fire hazards. Therefore, we do have 2 fire extinguishers. They are empty. Those are German ones. Nevertheless, I think in each and every ambulance there shall be and must be a fire extinguisher, and we will use them and get them out and put them next to our scene, that we do have it when it's needed. Other than that, it might be a stupid idea to park your ambulance like 50 meters away And when now we have a small fire, which we can control with a fire extinguisher, you need to run 50 meters in this direction and 50 meters in the other direction. That's 100 meters. It's an Olympic sprint, and none of us is fast as Usain Bolt, so we won't do it within like 10 seconds, right?
No.
Especially me. So this is something which is crucial to have it with us. And then we need to have some wedges or something to take care that the car cannot move and roll into one or other direction. So those wedges, as you see, are not common and we do not have them. Therefore, we need some stones, some woods, whatever we can find on the scene. So we will use them as well. Besides that, we now build up more things which we can use, and especially hand tools, things we can carry on our ambulance are things like small crowbars. They are lightweight, not a lot of size we need, but we can use them to open a door, maybe to smash a window, lift the hood, such things. They can be very helpful. For example, they come in different sizes and shapes. This one can also use like a hammer, for example. Then for the window and glass management, we do have so-called window punches. We will show you how we can use them to smash a window. A window is a very good access point into a vehicle to start the treatment of the patient, and it's also a good option to extricate the patient because there's not a lot of force needed to use them. It can be helpful to have some sort of pocket knife, so something sharp, maybe to cut through a belt, for example. Those ones, they have a belt cutter as well. How they work, it's like this kind of ankle. We will show you later. We have some other of those rescue knives. Most of us have them by themselves. Look pretty much the same, something sharp. Those come with a window puncher as well. How it's working, we will show you later on. All these things is equipment which shall stay here for the next training scenarios. Besides that, we have bigger crowbars like those ones, which have a hammer on the side, which can be very helpful if we need to punch something. A wedge, maybe to squeeze something, a crowbar to open certain things. How we use those things will be part of the course as well. We have a multi-tool, which is more common in the fire departments. It's a so-called Halligan tool. It has been developed by a guy called or named Halligan. It has 2 sides or 3 sides. It has a poker, which we can use for making holes, maybe in the hood, maybe if it's needed to get the air out of the tires. As I said this morning, it might be a good option. On the other hand, maybe not, but we can use it to just smash this kind of splint and thing into the tires to release the air. It does have a wedge, which can be used to open doors. And on the other side, it has something we usually call the can opener. So maybe you have those things back home to open a can of fruits or something, very, very more tiny, but you can squeeze it in and then you can use it to open it. So later on we will cut some metal with it without any electricity, and that's the biggest thing, or any hydraulics. Aim of the course is that we use things which are not power driven and power driven in either way, so no electrical power or mechanical power, hydraulic power, etc. Something else we do have is a bolt cutter. Most of you might know those things for building up fences, to cut the wires and such things. They can also be used for extrication for certain things. It's not needed that it's maybe those big ones because their size is kind of big. So what else do we have? We do have over here some ropes. First of all, so-called rope slings. This is just a sling with the length of 1.5 meters. They're kind of affordable and easy to use. We will use those things to extricate and to pull a patient towards us. We will get some information how we can improvise such things with a space blanket, because such things are not often very common and affordable, and how we can improvise that. We have a so-called rescue boa or rescue snake, which is also a technique how we can pull out a patient out of a vehicle. Just to give you an overview, if you buy one of those rescue snakes by yourself, it will cost you around about 300 euros, which is 320 US. Such a rope sling like this one costs you 15 euros, so roughly 17 US. So it's way more affordable, and compared to that, a space blanket will cost you $1-ish. Yeah, so those things obviously cost a lot of money. Nevertheless, they are helpful. Other than that, we do have rope ratchets. You've seen such things maybe on some commercial trucks.
Yes.
That they use it to secure their payload. This is something which is uncommon to have it on an ambulance, to be honest. But maybe one of the truck drivers having such things on their truck, being there as a bystander or a first responder or something like that, can be helpful. So again, it can be helpful that you search such things during one of those incidents. So we will show you that we can lift, for example, a dashboard / a steering wheel with one of those things when there's an entrapment between the legs and the steering wheel. And then it becomes a little bit more complicated. We do have so-called high lift jacks. We will have an eye if we can find normal jacks for changing the tires in one of those scrap cars. They can be also helpful. And we have those big ones. I've seen them sometimes on expedition vehicles, that they do have them, or off-road vehicles, if it comes to tour guides, for example, and such things. First and foremost, the idea of the big ones is also to lift a car that you can change a tire. But nevertheless, you can use them to spread metal into different directions to get more space. And they are non-hydraulic, so it's also just a suggestion. We do not use them very often in Europe because we often use hydraulics, but nevertheless they have the same effect from that. Okay, and they are way more affordable. So if it comes to hydraulics, depending on the company you have, so the spreaders and rescue shearers and things, or jaws of life, as they are also called, will cost you somewhere between 15 and 25,000 euros, so 27,000 US. One of those things costs you less than 500. And they have the same effect. Which is also kind of lightweight and easy affordable, are procreating saws or electric saws, which can be also used to cut metal and things like that. So, idea behind an access course is to have lightweight equipment, which is affordable and can, as I said, be adjusted and brought on one of those ambulances as well. So imagine to have one of those things costs you a lot of space, but one of those saws, 2 helmets, a crowbar or something similar will be a good option for each and every ambulance. And you can do a lot of things with that. Other than that, you can improvise. All right?